through the application real quick, some of the behind the scenes stuff. So I mentioned before, this is a multi-platform, a Kotlin multi-platform application. So what does that mean? Most of the magic happens, or actually most of the run-of-the-mill stuff happens on the server side here. So if you come down here and you drill down into our app, you'll see here is our regular just Spring Boot starter. If you want to run the application, the first time you click here and run application, afterwards it's up here. And this is just your generic REST database stuff with security. Nothing too crazy. But what's fun is if you come here, this is a common section for all the application. Now what's pretty neat is if you come in here, you are going to see these classes. And we'll go down to a very popular one. So if you come in here and you look at all our different, we've got our different DTOs here. Okay, these DTOs are actually able to be used by the code in the web module, which is going to rely upon the common.js module, and common.js is linked into common. But a better example is actually in the model section. So again, I use a blog post just because I had existing data, and I thought it's an easy model to follow. Everyone knows what a blog post is. So here, if we go to blog post, you can see we're marked with an expect class. Now what's neat is if we drill into expect, we have code in our JVM main module down here, as well as our JS module, which is right below it. So now if we look on the JVM side, you can come in here and you're going to see all of our Hibernate annotations. This file, which is in the JVM section, is actually going to be used thoroughly from server. And if you click the build.gradle, you can just see all it is basically you're linking the projects. That's it. It works great. But what's neat is that, so you got that blog post here, right? Now, let's go down to the JS side, and it's the same code. Really is the same code, minus the annotations. But there are some slight differences because we're on the JavaScript side. The big one is, what is a date, right? So Java date's easy, but we're on the JavaScript side. So how are we gonna, get a hold of date? Well, on the JavaScript side, we're using the Kotlin common JS date, and that basically is being used on the JavaScript side. And if you were to go back up and look on the JVM side at that data audit class, you'll see we got regular old Java dates here. So now you've seen on the server side how I have this blog post. Which one is it? It's a little confusing. On the JVM side, we have this blog post file, which is being used and consumed by our database and being pushed out via REST. Now, what's neat is I've got this DTO, and our DTO is living up here in common. So we have one blog post DTO that is being used by the server when it goes across the wire from our REST interface. Now, if we were to go into our client side, which we haven't touched yet, but if we go to our client side and you click here, and we go to Kotlin, the app, and we go to our components, let's go to form. Now let's go to blog post form. If we were to go to here, you can see now this is React code, by the way. This is Kotlin React. So you're writing Kotlin that's rendered React. You have here, you're importing blog post, and we're using it in our form. So what we're basically doing is, just because I've written some validation on a blog post object, The form basically creates a blog post shell, and we're using that to drive our form. Um, and then we convert it to DTO, and then we send it back across the wire. So just wanted to do that. It's a quick rundown on the basic setup.